All right, ninth grade physical science students, today I'm going to talk to you about how to find the displacement when you have an object that moves from one place to another, and we're also going to compare that to finding the distance. And in order for us to be able to do that, we need to use the Pythagorean Theorem. And I know that some of you have done this in math class already, but some of you might not have. And so let me just do a quick review. The Pythagorean theorem basically is a way to relate the three different sides of what we call a right triangle. What's a right triangle? A right triangle is a triangle that has a 90-degree angle in it. And like all triangles, there are three sides, and we're going to name them A, B, and C. Okay, so how are these three sides related to one another? They are related by this equation, which is known as the Pythagorean theorem. If I square the length of side A and I add that to the square of the length of side B, that equals the square of the side length of side C, which is also known as the hypotenuse. Okay, so let me give you an example here. Let's say that I have a right triangle that looks like this. I go 5 meters to the east, or units, whatever, I use squares here, 5 to the east, and then I travel 3 north. So then the question is, what's the displacement from where I started to where I ended? I can call this point A and call this point B. How long is that? Well, it's not 5 plus 3. That's 5 plus 3 would actually be longer than this distance. So this is the shortest distance. How do we figure that out? Well, we do that using the Pythagorean theorem. So this can be side A. We'll call that 5. It doesn't matter if I call that A or B. We'll call this side B here. Again, I could call this A and this B. It doesn't matter. The only one that really has to be the thing that we say is side C. And in this case, I just said it was X. So this is side C right here. So we know from the Pythagorean theorem that A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So A squared is 5 squared plus B squared, which is 3 squared. And that equals C squared, which we said is X. So that's X squared. So 5 squared plus 3 squared equals X squared. All right. Well, 5 squared is 5 times 5, so that's 25, plus 3 times 3, which is 9, plus or equals X squared. All right. Well, 25 plus 9 is 34. So 34 equals X squared. And we don't want X squared, we want X. So we unsquare it by using the square root sign. And if I do something to one side, I have to do it to the other. So I go the square root of X squared is X. The square root of 34 is 5.83. Now, because I'm looking for displacement here, not only do I need a length, and I didn't give you any units, it could be meters or centimeters or miles or kilometers, whatever you want, but it does need a direction as well because displacement is a vector. So if I come back to my picture here, I know that I went east and I went north. So what direction is my resultant side? That's northeast. So when I write my answer, it would be 5.83 kilometers, we'll say, or meters northeast. That's the displacement. If you want to know what the distance traveled is, well, then you just add up the two parts that you actually walked. So in this situation, if you walked 5 meters and then 3 meters, that would be 5 plus 3. So the distance is always going to be longer, at least as long as the displacement. Most of the time, the distance is going to be longer. All right. Okay, so let's take a look at the homework that I'm assigning today. And I'm just going to set up these problems so that you know what they look like. You do not need to use graph paper, but it is helpful. I don't have any graph paper at home except I have a computer, so I typed graph paper into the browser and found a sheet of graph paper and I printed it off. So that's how I got my graph paper for this. Again, you don't have to do that. So let's take a look at number 1 here. This says that Joey drives his Skidoo 7 kilometers north. He stops for lunch and then drives 5 kilometers east. What distance did he cover and what was his displacement? So we know that he's going to go 7 kilometers north, so I'm going to just say that each box is a kilometer, and then 5 to the east, and east is to the right, and north is going up. So let's count 7 going up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then he goes 5 east. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 7 kilometers here. This is 5 kilometers. kilometers here. Now, his distance is going to be where he actually went. So distance will be 7 kilometers plus 5 kilometers. Okay, but his displacement is going to be from where he started up to where he finished. That's going to be our side C. Now again, it's not the same, it's not oriented the same way I had it over here. This is where my right angle is right here. This is still side C, so we need an A and a B. Let's just call this A and call this B. All right, and so we know that, again, A squared plus B squared equals C squared, and in this case, it's going to be 7 kilometers squared plus 5 squared equals C squared. 7 squared is 49. 5 squared is 25. That equals C squared. And 49 plus 25 is 74. And to find C then, we need to take the square root of both sides, and that will give us some answer, which we can then put in up here. Okay. Now, what direction is that? Well, he goes north and he goes east. So this is north and east. So the direction here would be northeast, whatever you get for that answer. All right, let's take a look at number 2. Okay, Anthony walks to the pizza place for lunch. He walks 1 kilometer east, 1 kilometer south, then 3 kilometers east again. So east, south, and then east. 1, 1, and 3. What's his distance and what is his displacement? All right, so once again, east now is 1. You know what? I'm going to say that every 2 is worth 1 now. So I'm going to say that this is 1. Then he goes 3 south, right? 1 south, sorry. So he goes down 1 more. And then he goes 1 east again. So he goes over this way. Now you might look at this and go, well, wait a minute, how do we get a triangle out of that? Well, if you start here at the beginning and you come all the way over to there, again, that now it looks like we have 2 triangles. And this whole thing is our side C. But let's do this. Let's take this one right up here. We're going to move this down to here, like so, and I'm going to take this arrow here and I'm going to move it over like that. So now here is my triangle, and it's still got the same length going to the east, 1 and 1, but now I put them both down here. It still has the same length going down. I just slid it over here. So let me redraw that triangle so that it looks a little bit cleaner. And it's 1, 2, and then this is our unknown. Okay, and here's the right angle. So we can call this side A, we can call this side B, and we can call this side C. So then we're in the same position we were before. We want to know the distance, and we want to know the displacement. And then again, distance is really easy. You just add 1 plus 2 and you get 3 over here. For displacement though, that's where we have to use that Pythagorean theorem, and that's going to be 1 squared plus 2 squared equals x squared. And you can go ahead and finish that one off on your own. All right, let's take a look at number 3. Okay, number 3, on his fishing trip, Justin takes the boat 12 kilometers south. The fish aren't biting, so he goes 4 kilometers west. He follows a school of fish 1 kilometer north. What distance did he cover and what was his displacement? So we go south, west, and north. 12, 4, and 1. All right, so let's start here. And to go 12, this might be a little tricky with how much room I have, but I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 south. So that's 12. Then it says he goes 5 to the west, 4 to the west. So we go now to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then he goes 1 north. All right, so it's the same question. I'm going to get rid of this 4 here. So looking for the distance, which is just going to be, again, adding 12 plus 4 plus 1, and then the displacement. Now, we can only have 3 sides on our triangle, and the triangle goes from where you started to where you ended. This is X. This is our side C, right? But this is not a triangle. This is a 4-sided figure. But what if I draw this line right here? Okay, I know that I went up 1, but again, all we care about for displacement is where did I start and where did I finish? So I don't need this part down here. I do know, I need to know the information though. I need to know that this side is 4. Okay, that's still the same length. I hope you can see that. This side now, instead of being 12 all the way down, we're going to take 1 away from that. So this side here is 11 for this triangle. And so where are we here? 11 squared plus 4 squared equals x squared, and then you solve for x. All right, number 4. Preston goes on a camel safari in Africa. He travels 5 kilometers north, 3 kilometers east, then 1 kilometer north again. What distance did he cover and what was his displacement? So 5, 3, and 1. So here he goes 5 north, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 east, and 1 north again. So 5, 1, and 1. Now, my start to my finish goes like this. Well, here's the triangle then, right? Well, this 1 has to come over here. So now I have 6. Let me redraw that triangle. So this is 6, 1, and this is our hypotenuse here, which is what we're trying to find. So once again, find the distance and the displacement. And then finally, number 5, Neil Pogo sticks to his science class. He goes 8 meters east, then 4 north. What distance did he cover and what was his displacement? I'm going to let you do that one completely on your own without drawing the picture. Okay.